We're here really because our nation and our state need to understand that 40 years of abortion is far too long. In Louisiana alone, we've seen over 470,000 abortions since 1973. That's equivalent to the size of East Baton Rouge Parish. We got to do something about this. It's going to take the people here, the people watching today, and all Louisianians to make a difference in this.
So what do you think it says about our communities, the fact that Louisiana is ranked #1 amongst the pro-life states?
It certainly says that we're a dedicated pro-life community in Louisiana, but I sometimes hesitate to talk about that because we can't get complacent with just the understanding that we're #1 and therefore we can go home and rest because of that. If we're #1, there's great power that comes with responsibility, and we got to execute that in our state and make sure that we're saving lives through pregnancy centers, helping women, supporting adoption, all the things that we can do. We are here today and this month marking 40 years of legalized abortion on demand in our nation. 40 years. It's hard to imagine and believe that our nation, founded, as we just said, under equality and justice for all, would find ourselves through 40 years of abortion. Not just in our nation, but here in the state of Louisiana. And the impact can be felt and seen, but also not seen in our state. One thing that 40 years of abortion one way that I've seen it is when I grew up, the abortion facility in my hometown was immediately across the street from Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid, where kids go to have their own birthday, and the place immediately across the street is doing the exact opposite, denying children their opportunity and their ability to have their own birthday. And so today we remember those lives that are not seen, that are not here with us today. And they're represented to my left. If you could hold your signs up, our excellent crew of props that are representing each of the 40 years of abortion. And each sign represents a year and a number of abortions that happened here in the state of Louisiana. These 40 years amounts to 457,434 abortions in our state, in the great state, the great pro-life state of Louisiana. We remember these and we honor them, not just with our presence here today, but with our commitment to change our world, our nation, and our state. Please help me welcome Senator David Vitter.
Of all of the 50 states, Louisiana is the most pro-life. We have the most pro-life population, and that's reflected in our political leadership and our religious leaders and our legislature. And that's not because of us who may happen to get elected. That's because of you and what's in the hearts and minds of Louisiana, how we try to live our lives, the values we try to pass on through our families. That's because of you. And that brings me to my second point about why I'm truly encouraged and truly uplifted every January. And that's looking out to all of you and being with all of you, particularly the young people who come out to this event here in Baton Rouge and to the National March in Washington. Those of you who are, in particular, say 21 years old or younger, raise your hand and wave. Raise your hand, wave it around. Let's everybody else give them a huge round of applause. We will get to the point where we are an abortion-free Louisiana, and we will get, I'm convinced, to the day where we overcome abortion in America. And when we do, it's not going to be because of me or any of my colleagues in the U.S. Senate. It's not going to be because of any elected officials or even civic and respected religious leadership up here. It's going to be because of all of you who raised and waved your hands. You are the real leaders in this fight. You are the examples that your peers, your classmates, other young people around Louisiana look to. And ultimately, you are going to be the reason we win hearts and minds and we overcome abortion in Louisiana and America. Legislatures and politicians will follow, but you are the real leaders. And thank you for standing tall. Thank you for often going against the grain. Thank you for being a role model to your friends and neighbors and peers. And thank you for one by one winning hearts and minds across Louisiana and America. That's what reassures me that we will ultimately win this struggle because of your leadership, particularly those who wave their hands, particularly those next generation members of our cause. That's where I draw my inspiration. That's what keeps me going, and I know that's true of everyone here. So thank you for being the driving force of this movement. Don't let up. This won't be an easy or a quick struggle, but don't let up, because every day, by your simple actions, by your example of grace and honor and value, you are changing hearts and minds throughout Louisiana and America.
I was trying to speak on the sibling survivor thing, and just about the guilt that you might experience, and just fighting on, and just this generation, we're tired of it. We're done, and we believe that it's going to be our generation that's going to stop abortion.
I really just felt called to get involved, recognizing the dignity of every human life, and just in our society, you see so many people just disrespecting life across the board, with shootings in our nation happening left and right. And, I think it's just definitely all related to each other. So my cause is just to build a greater respect for life in our nation. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're faced with a never before more radically pro-death administration from the presidency on down, and it's heartbreaking. So for we women who have lived the lie of abortion, know the pain, just know the hell, the fury that comes with it, it is our responsibility, our job, and our goal to make sure that our young people have a better life, and to call them to stand up and make a change and make a difference. And that is why we do what we do.
It's always a great event, and it's wonderful that we have thousands of people here to be able to say that as a state and as a society, and most people here as people of faith, we very much believe in the dignity of human life, the respect for human life, and believe that it is sacred in God's eyes, that God lives in us, and that we live in God, and that the life of all people, the unborn included, is to be respected with great dignity.
And how important do you think it is to get that message out to our youth?
It's very important to get the message out to our youth, and I must say that I'm really impressed with our young people today. I call them the young church and the young adult church, because they have a vigor about this and an enthusiasm about this that many of the people of my generation did not have. And so I really think that our young people today are far more pro-life than generations in the past. And I think that they are taking the lead, and I'm very proud of them.